Over the past 100 years, the Izaak Walton League of America has been an extraordinary champion and defender of the nation's soil, air, woods, water, and wildlife. Nationwide and in local communities, no organization in the United States has had a greater impact protecting our natural resources. 2022, the League's centennial year, is an opportunity to celebrate those remarkable achievements. This milestone also requires us to pause and take a clear-eyed look at the future. The problems ahead are equally or even more serious than those we faced 100 years ago. But the Izaak Walton League is ready. After all, it was created to solve big problems. During the 1920s, industrial pollution, raw sewage, and soil erosion threatened many of the nation's waterways. Forests were clear-cut, while indiscriminate hunting and fishing took a deadly toll on wildlife. So in 1922, hunters, anglers, and conservationists gathered in Chicago to take action, to save America's waterways, woods, and wildlife from destruction. They named their organization after Izaak Walton, an early conservationist and revered author of The Complete Angler. Forming local chapters nationwide, Americans rallied around this new organization out of respect for the land and their love of outdoor traditions. These new members, Ikes as they came to be known, declared it was time to call a halt to unbridled pollution and development. In its first decade, the Izaak Walton League successfully pushed for creation of the Upper Mississippi National Wildlife and Fish Refuge to save vital habitat that was rapidly disappearing. In 1927, President Calvin Coolidge commissioned the League to conduct the first national survey of water pollution in the U.S. As the Dust Bowl ravaged the nation, League members pressed for innovative soil conservation efforts, and they fought plans to drain millions of acres of wetlands across the Midwest. Beginning in the 1930s, the League led a national push for sewage treatment to reduce water pollution. The organization's dedication to improving water quality paid off when the landmark Clean Water Act was signed into law years later. In the decades following World War II, millions of Americans turned to the great outdoors for recreation, and concerns about the health of the environment steadily grew. During this time, the League helped usher in the modern era of conservation we know today. Our impact is not only historic, it is enduring. Consider just the Land and Water Conservation Fund, the brainchild of legendary League Conservation Director Joe Penfold, perhaps the most important conservation program of the 20th century. The Land and Water Conservation Fund is an unparalleled success, conserving natural resources in our national parks and other public lands, and expanding opportunities for outdoor recreation in local communities nationwide. How the Izaak Walton League has protected outdoor America over the past century is also remarkable and unique. From the very beginning, the League was a pioneering leader in community-based conservation and citizen science to complement policy advocacy. A successful initiative in the 1920s mobilized members to replenish black bass in streams and lakes to prevent their extinction. Through the League's programs like Save Our Streams and Salt Watch, this grassroots focus continues today, engaging adults and youth in hands-on stewardship of our natural world. In hundreds of communities across the U.S., the League's chapters have always been a driving force in conservation locally. Our chapters are also a gateway to the outdoors where generations of Americans have caught a fish, shot a rifle, or got involved for the first time to protect the environment. While it's inspiring to look back at the League's history, this is no time to rest on our laurels. The work is far from finished. Water pollution, disappearing wildlife, and soil erosion are still serious problems. Newer problems, especially climate change, threaten natural resources, public health, and our way of life on a scale our founders could never have imagined. The League's time-tested approach to problem solving is more important than ever. As we look to the future, we reaffirm our commitment to fulfilling the League's pledge, to strive for the clarity of water and air and wise stewardship of the land, to know the value of wildlife and woodlands, to protect this heritage for future generations. We'll deliver on that promise by shaping national policy, engaging more Americans in citizen science, and fostering community-based conservation. By fighting to protect the natural world, as Theodore Roosevelt put it, for the sake of our grandchildren's grandchildren. By helping Americans enjoy outdoor recreation and reconnect with nature close to home. Whether you are a member, a volunteer, or a concerned citizen, this is your opportunity to make a difference. Together, we can save the great bounty of natural resources we love. This is our calling for the second century of the Izaak Walton League of America.